Getting ready. We're going live. We're here. We're here. We're live on the air. How you doing, everybody? I thought it was all organized until 30 seconds ago, and I realized I forgot something, and I had to check something out, and caught me in the middle of my paperwork. How you doing, you guys? Welcome to the show. As I frantically adjust the camera here, the computer, the laptop. What's happening? Welcome to Traveling with Bruce. Saturday, May the 19th, 2018. You know, you might notice these are different glasses than I normally wear. Don't know if you guys care, but you know, these cheap Costco glasses, you know, I got a beef, you know. I can't keep a straight face. You get 3 glasses in a package. Like, these are just readers. These are El Cheapo Costco readers. You get 3 in a pack for like, what is it, 18, 19, 20 bucks. And it's like they only last like a year each, you know. It's really disappointing. Yesterday I was cleaning some gunk off one of my last pair, and I'm holding it, and I'm working on it, and I'm doing this, and then all of a sudden there's a crack in the frame right here from all the torque I'm putting on it. You know, you just can't get good quality these days. So you know, I reached down into one of my I have a box of junk beside my couch here where I sit all the time, and I'm looking through there. Sure enough, I got a brand new pair left over from the last 3 pack that I bought. So I guess I'm on pack number 3, or pair of glasses number 3 from the last pack. So I'll have to take a look tomorrow when I go down to Coeur d'Alene to see if they've got like a deal going on readers. Pick up another reserve pack of, you know, 3 or whatever. Do they still come in packs of 3? I don't even know. So I'm going to have to check that out. And then the money just comes in, and then the money just goes right out. You know, I waste money on, it was $7 a pair of reader glasses. Of course, you buy these one at a time at your local, you know, drugstore. You're talking 20 bucks a pair. It's crazy. I'm just glad I don't have to buy readers. I don't know if I ever mentioned that back in, gosh, what year would that be? Getting old, so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, in years now. 2008. 2008, I had laser surgery on my eyes. I'd never had to wear glasses before. But in 07, no, wait a minute. Oh my goodness, in 08 or 07, 08, 2008, I had to cave and get glasses. I went for an eye appointment, and the doctor told me, yeah, your distance viewing is a bit blurry. And she would adjust the settings. You know, you had that big machine where you're looking in, you know, got those round things, and she's adjusting it. She says, can you see out of your left eye, your right eye? And is that clear? Is that clear? Oh yeah, that's crystal clear. She said, well, that's distance viewing, and that's clear for you. Let me show you what you're looking at right now. And then she did the setting, and I went, oh, it's all fuzzy. And she's going, yeah. She said, so you look across the room, you're not seeing everything as clear as you used to. You need glasses. And I already knew I had close-in problems. You know, that tight vision. When you hit 40-something, you can't read up close anymore. So she said, yeah, you just buy readers for that. But, well, actually, she gave me those glasses that have the line in the middle. The top half is for seeing way down there, and the bottom half is for seeing real close. And I bought one of those progressives. I bought one of those pair first, and I didn't like them, and I exchanged them then for just the distance only viewing, and I bought cheap Costco readers for close in. Anyway, I decided this is crap. You know, this getting old nonsense. This is, you know, BS. I'm not getting old. So I went to a laser eye center to see if I could get laser eye surgery. And they had a free deal where they check your eyes and give them a look, and figured out what I needed. And they confirmed the diagnosis. They said, yeah, that's why you're using the glasses you're using, because that's what you're suffering from. They said, but the problem is that your distance viewing is slightly out. You're not bad enough yet. So I couldn't get the laser surgery done when I wanted to get it done, because my eyes weren't bad enough. I said, what do I do? They said, I just wait. They'll continue to deteriorate along with the rest of your body. Thanks a lot. And, you know, when they get a little worse, we can fix you. I'm going, oh, geez. I bet you if I were a Hollywood actor, you wouldn't say that to me. You'd take care of me right now. But anyway, so, all right. So grudgingly, I kept the glasses. Well, a year later, I went back And I went in again. I said, it's been a year. How am I doing now? Am I ready for, am I a candidate for laser surgery now? And they took another look at me and they said, yeah, you just made the line. All right, we'll take you in. So I had laser surgery done about a month later or so. I was on the list. Called me when the appointment was done. It was a day procedure. It was like an hour. To be honest, I think it took me 3 or 4 hours to get in and out of there, but the procedure itself took 10 minutes. It's unbelievable. And right away after I'd been, had my eyes lasered, looking up at, where I remember lying on my back and looking up the little into the machine, and the procedure was painless and easy and relaxing. And got off the table, and the doctor said to me, "Come on over here. Let's check your eyesight." And so take a look through there, and he had me read a chart on the wall. He had me read a further chart. Then he had me look through the machine, and he said, "I like what I see. It's very good. I want you to take a couple of days and just relax." But as a matter of fact, they wanted me in there 2 days later for a checkup, like a see how you're looking, how it's coming on the rebound. But the distance viewing was instantaneous. I could see across the room perfectly clearly. And he said, "Well, put your glasses on and see how they look with your glasses on, because you just came in with your prescriptions." I put them on. Everything's fuzzy out there. It was unbelievable, instantaneous difference. I was so happy. Went home and rested the rest of that day, and then I think it was the day after that, I went back for a quick look. They took a good close look at everything. They said everything's fine. You're recovering wonderfully. Use those eye drops we've given you for like the next week. And I just use an eye drop in the morning, as I have dry eyes. So when I wake up, I just one eye drop on each side, and I'm good for the day. It's incredible. And what I can see now versus what I could see before, day and night. And I'm so glad to be back. Like, how long it'll last, I don't know, but it's been now about 10 years, 2008, 2009-ish. So about 10 years. And I just use these readers. They said, we can't fix this. This we can't help you with yet. Technology down the line, who knows? Implants, and we don't know what the future holds for the for eye surgery and eye care. But for $7 a pair instead of $400 a pair, yeah, I'm a happy guy. And I know that the $400 pair of glasses I had, they would have either broken. I would have broken the frame eventually and had to buy a new pair. I would have lost them, or my prescription would have changed, and I would have gone through 2 or 3 or 4 pair of these things by now, maybe 5 pair, 6 pair. And of course, they only get more expensive in Canada. Things don't get cheaper. But I know you guys in the US can get eyeglasses for a lot cheaper than we can. But I'll tell you, the laser thing is just fantastic. And I'm so happy I did it. So glad I did it. Grateful I did it. And I've been a happy customer ever since. And even today, I'm looking across the room. I'm 20 odd feet away from my coffee from Costco, the espresso coffee. I can read the Kirkland label, which is only this wide, perfectly from here. It's incredible. And of course, I look outside my window all the time, tell you how I'm doing here in Creston, British Columbia. A beautiful, sunny looking day here. I can see the mountains crisp and clear. I can see all the little indentations in the cliff faces, and the snow in between the cracks now. The snow is almost gone on our local mountains. They're about 4,500 feet high. The snow is almost gone completely from that height. Smith's Point down here, 7,500 feet in Idaho, just south of me, about 6-8 miles. There's just snow left on the peak now. The rest of the mountain is bare. Snow is all gone. Today we're going to be 15 Celsius, maybe 17 Celsius. We're going to be high of around, we might reach 70 Fahrenheit. We might just touch it. But tomorrow we're hitting for high 70s, and on Monday, Tuesday, we're back into the 80s. So we're coming around here. No terrible weather in this part of the world, so I'm happy about that. Thank you for joining me today for my little spiel on that, my eyesight. The topic today that I wanted to bring up, and I kind of teased you guys with a few little questions on my chat thing here, was were you ever on a cruise ship when a major event happened? Good event, bad event, a birth, a loss, a major event, somebody famous died, or whatever. I had a couple of stories. I had one personal experience on a cruise ship that was a positive one, which was just my wife and I got to watch the Super Bowl on a cruise ship. That was an event, and we loved it. It was a good thing. But we did have friends of ours when we were in the Cayman Islands. We had friends of ours come down They were on a cruise, a Disney cruise, and it stopped in the Caymans for the day. They knew we were there. We had only been there now for about, we'd been down there for about a year. I'm just guessing. Yeah, about a year. And they were coming down like February, and they visited us. We picked them up at the pier, being residents of the Caymans, and we showed them around the island, and they had a blast. And my wife, I can only spend a couple hours with them, and I had to go to work because it was a work day. But my wife had the car, and she tooled them around the island everywhere and showed them all kinds of stuff, and showed them our place where we were living. We had our own swimming pool in our own complex, so she took them to our condo. They hung out in our pool. Two little girls, they had a blast. Anyway, she took them back to the pier, and they got on the ship, and see you guys, have a great time, and off they went. And we found out about 3 days later that while they were with us, the news had come. There was a message waiting for the husband when he got back to the cruise ship, an emergency message, and I'm not sure how it was delivered, but it was delivered because this was 1998, and his mother had passed away, and it was a sad event. And found out when they got back on the ship. And I think the next day they ended up, they were either in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, or something like that. Anyway, he'd made arrangements on the ship with the help of the ship and the cruise line. They made arrangements that the next day they would get off the ship with all their luggage, and that they would fly home back to Calgary immediately, because he was the only child, and he was in charge of all of her affairs, and he had to get back immediately. So they cut the trip short, and they flew home from Jamaica immediately back to Calgary, and had to take care of details. So that was a sad story, but what are you going to do? And then I was thinking about, I wonder if there were people. There had to have been people on a cruise when 9/11 happened. You left Miami under one set of circumstances, and you came back to the United States after 9/11, and it was a whole different world. What was that like? And I was curious about if anyone had experienced anything like that, or if you know anyone that experienced anything like that, how they found out. I know that 9/11, when it happened, I was traveling. I was supposed to be in the air that day. I was supposed to be in an airplane. I still have my boarding pass, my pre-printed, pre-made boarding pass for 9/11 in my possession. But I was never in danger because I was in, excuse me, at the time of 9/11, I was living in Palm Desert, California. And I had been on business in Vancouver. I was visiting with some business people there, and I was at the end of about a 10-day trip to Western Canada, which included a Calgary visit to some relatives, friends, and I was in Vancouver to catch a plane. And it was about it was about 8 in the morning Vancouver time, which was 11 in the morning New York time, and the event had already, a lot of it had taken place already. The Twin Towers had come down already. The plane had crash landed in Shanksville, PA. The plane had crashed into the Pentagon. And everything was in a shutdown. Everything was just, happening. And I was fast asleep at my business partner's home. And the phone rings in his house at something like 8 in the morning, something like that, really early for us, maybe even earlier, maybe 7 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. And I heard my business partner answer his telephone in his bedroom. And he went, "Hello? What? Oh, yeah. Hi, Jen," is my wife's name. What? Yeah, he's here. Really? Are you sure? Okay, hang on. And he walked into the bedroom and he said, "Grab the phone. It's your wife. I can't understand what she's saying. I can't figure out. Doesn't make sense." I said, "Okay." So I picked up the phone. "Yeah, what's up?" She says, "Are you watching TV right now?" I said, "No, we're in bed. I got my 11 o'clock flight out of here in 3 hours. I was going to get up in the next, half an hour, 40 minutes, and then get to the airport with 2 hours to go and fly home." "You're not going anywhere." She says, "All flights are canceled in the United States. All airspace is shut down. There's been an attack in New York." And I go, "What are you talking about?" She says, jet planes have flown into the Twin Towers in New York. I went, what? So as it turned out, my friend of mine was spending the summer in a condo that he partially owned with a friend of his in Whistler, British Columbia, which is about 90 minutes out of Vancouver. But he and I had been in the house for a couple of days to do some business when I had come into town. And after he was going to drop me off the airport, and then he was going to go back to Whistler. And he didn't have his cable turned on in his house. He had it turned off for the summer because he wasn't there for the summer. And he thought, why pay for cable if I'm not in the house? So we had no television, and we didn't have the internet we have today. This is 2001, and we didn't have the sophisticated internet we have now. So I didn't have a smartphone. He didn't have a smartphone, but he got on the phone to his cable provider. And because of the emergency that was underway, they just turned the cable on like that. They hit a switch and said, "Don't worry about it. We'll figure out the billing later." He said, "I just need it for today." Well, he's like, "I guess I need it for a week now because my buddy isn't going anywhere." So he and I watched television in his home for the next hour and a half and saw 9/11. We were just stunned, of course. Who wasn't? Unbelievable time and an unbelievable situation. And I think about that from time to time because of how I got back. Because not only was airspace shut down, the United States shut down the border. You couldn't cross into the United States any way, shape, or form at that time. They shut everything off. The United States was closed. And I'm sitting here in Vancouver, British Columbia. My wife and daughter are in Palm Desert, and at least I can call them. The phone lines were still open, but I couldn't go home. And it turned out this was a Tuesday. Of course, 9/11 was a Tuesday. Those of us who are alive, we know the day of the week. And I called the airline, which was Alaska Airlines, to get me home. I had a flight from Vancouver, I believe, to San Francisco, and then a connection to Palm Desert, California. And they said, all flights are canceled. We are going on a day-by-day basis. We have no idea when we can fly you home. And I phoned them on the Wednesday, and still no answer, no idea. I phoned them on the Thursday, and that is when airspace was reopened. I believe it was Thursday in the United States. They were reopening airspace. And they were telling me at Alaska, maybe next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, like 4 or 5 more days. And it was driving me nuts. I had to get the heck out of there. I had to get home. And contacted Southwest Airlines, found out that, of course, they're up and running. They're domestic. And Seattle to Oakland, Oakland to Ontario, California, not a problem. I booked a flight for Friday, September what would that be, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th or 15th, the Friday, to Ontario, California via Oakland on Southwest Airlines. The trick was I had to get to Seattle. How do I get to Seattle from Vancouver? Don't have a car, and can't get a flight. There's no way. So Greyhound. I contacted Greyhound. They had a bus schedule, and I went to the main Greyhound bus station in downtown Vancouver with my suitcase, and I had a guitar with me, and because I used to love to play my guitar. If I wasn't watching TV, I'd play guitar. And I took a cab down to downtown Vancouver, and I bought a bus ticket one way to Seattle. And the bus was leaving Vancouver at something like, it was about 9 in the morning. And we had heard the lineups at the border. The border was open again for car traffic. And we had heard 5-hour waits and all these nightmares. And I thought, oh my God, I hope I can get to Seattle. The flight was something like, I think it was something like 3 in the afternoon or something like that. So I had till 3 in the afternoon to get to Seattle SeaTac Airport, but it was 9 in the morning Vancouver, and I was worried about this 5-hour border delay. So we get to the border. Of course, the buses go at a speed of a bus. I scored the front row seat on the bus, and I wasn't giving it up. I wanted to see through that windshield what's going on. Looking down the window here, the front of the window, the bus driver's over there. And we got to talking, and he was a good guy. We talked a lot. And he said, well, I get a special lane. I don't have to worry about with all the cars. I get a special customs lane. So we'll see what it's going to look like. And sure enough, we get to the border, and there's only 2 buses. We're the 3rd bus in line to cross the border. And it was just like an airport. You get to the border, you got to go out of the bus, get all your stuff, claim it, walk into this little terminal, and you're going through a security type system. And then from that, you are going to an agent, and you're showing your passport, and why are you coming into the United States, that thing. And of course, I got through there, no problem with that. And out the other side, it took 45 minutes. We were through the border in less than an hour. And on we went and put our stuff back bottom of the bus, hopped on the bus, and here we go. But we had like 3 or 4 stops, Bellingham and a couple of stops, to finally get to Seattle. And I got to Seattle at something like 1 in the afternoon, and grabbed a cab, get me to SeaTac. Well, what a picture at SeaTac. I had never seen this before. To get to the departure terminal, Army trucks, military, and the boys were packing. And we were a half a mile from the terminal, and we were stopped along with everyone else. Are you a passenger? Yes, I am. I'm flying on Southwest Airlines to Oakland. Show me your ID. I showed him my passport. The cabbie was good to go. They said, okay. They opened the trunk, looked in the trunk, and okay, you're good to go. And so we were allowed to go to the departure terminal, and there, military everywhere. Unbelievable. Camo, fatigues, the whole deal. And there were undercover people everywhere as well that looked like normal people. Oh my goodness. But you know what? Got in the line at the check-in counter at Southwest Airlines, and I think I had something like a 3:30 or a 4 o'clock flight, something like that. And the gal says to me, you're on the 4 o'clock flight to Oakland and then to Ontario. I said, yeah. She says, I can get you on a flight right now. I can get you on the earlier flight. I'll get you into Ontario earlier than you thought. I said, oh, this is fantastic. So I think I got to Ontario. I didn't have to get off the plane in Oakland, by the way. But I think I got to Ontario at something like 11:30 in the evening instead of 1 in the morning, something like that. It was much better. So I phoned my wife, Jen, from the airport right away. I said, listen, I'm getting on this flight. I will be on this flight landing at Ontario. Scheduled arrival time is such and such. Keep your eye open for it. Come and get me. So she had the car in Palm Desert. Drove with my daughter to Ontario, and I met up with them at midnight. It was midnight. So I left the house at about, it was been 8 in the morning. I left the house in Vancouver and got to Palm Desert, California at something like 1 in the morning, or midnight or 1 in the morning by the time I was home. And I was so glad that we got together again, because I had no idea how many days this is going to go. This is like Chinese water torture. We don't know when this is going to stop, but it's going to stop eventually. But you're probably going to go crazy before we stop this. And all you're doing is watching the news all day long, every day, and it's just misery and one piece of bad news after the other piece of bad news. But I came back to a different United States, came back to a different world, a whole different world that changed. I used to do so much traveling in the 90s. And the 80s and the 90s for business. And I had the Nexus card to get you through the border, and all those were practically canceled or revamped completely. And things are getting more and more regular again now as each year goes by. But oh my goodness, what a change for me. Curious about you guys. Where were you when 9/11 happened? Where were you? Were you ever on a cruise ship when anything major took place in the world or in your lives? And what did you do, and how did you handle it? Whatever. Hopefully you have some good news stories too, not just some bad news stories. Let me say hi to who's here, and welcome everybody. First person to sign in was Peter Heckema. Hi, Bruce. He says, happy Saturday. Weather in Tarpon Springs is wonderful today with a temperature of 87 degrees, but humid. Have fun at Costco tomorrow, and make sure Jen gets her hot dog. Oh, she'll be getting her hot dog. Oh, there'll be no doubt about that. Jen's going to get her dog. I'm getting my chicken bake. Debbie Emmanuel is here. Hi, Bruce and everyone. Mid-80s again with plenty of sunshine today in Chico. That is fantastic weather. We're going to get that in about 2 days. Pamela Jordan. Hi, Bruce and everyone. Mostly cloudy and 77 Fahrenheit here in Iowa, South Carolina. That is getting better. Hopefully better, not worse. Betsy Lane. Hello. Plus 10 Celsius. Raining in Hamilton. Oh no, you're getting the rain from Virginia, from Kentucky, from the Carolinas. It's all coming to you now. Oh no, pass it on. Get rid of it, Betsy. T Hyper number 1. Hey, how you doing? Hey, T Hyper from Bournemouth, UK. Sunny day here. Congratulations on the wedding. I hope you're a fan of that. I watched it live, 4 in the morning. I watched it. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. If you're new, welcome. If you're a returnee, welcome back. I love my viewers from the UK. I'm getting more and more of them all the time. It's fantastic. I love it. Charles Jordan, good afternoon, everybody. Hi, Charles. Charles, Cam Wilson. Hey, everybody. How you doing, Cam? Wes Morrison. Hi, Bruce. I was off today and able to watch the show live. Still tired from watching the royal wedding. There you go. I've already had a nap. Cam Wilson, I haven't. Thomas Henry. Hi, all. 72 and raining in Richmond. We have a new pool out back from all the rain. Oh, man, unbelievable. The rain just won't stop in certain spots. Steaming beans here, 19 degrees Celsius here in Sandy Bay, Saskatchewan. Not bad. Steamer, pretty good. Silo Steve is here. Hey, all. 72 in Seattle, 54 for the low. Sunny, sun and rain. 161 days to go until the haven on the Bliss Mexican Riviera cruise. The Norwegian Bliss in the Mexican Riviera is going to cruise during Halloween. Getting all excited. Getting closer, but not close enough. I hear you there, pal. 161 days is still a wait. That clock ticks, but not fast enough sometimes. Steam and Bean. I was working in Ottawa during 9/11 because of my job, and I was required to stay Snowtown or so downtown. I was required to stay downtown while the area was evacuated. Downtown Ottawa was like a ghost town. Yeah, because of the worries of threats from the air. Nobody knew if this was a USA only issue. Elsewhere, I'm sure all downtown cores were on edge, buildings with high rises, but Ottawa being the capital of Canada, I would imagine. Thomas Henry, I was Oak Brook Island, North Carolina. I'm not sure if I'm obviously not pronouncing that correctly. I'm sorry, Thomas. 9/11, but it was a very eerie how the shopkeepers behaved. This was an island only accessible by ferry. And everyone closed up as soon as possible, he says. My limo company had some interesting long-distance trips that week. Oh, I guess you did. Stranded people who wanted to get from point A to point B. How about the car rental companies in the U.S.? Oh, my goodness. There were car rentals, one way from like New York to Miami or Chicago to St. Louis or Detroit to Atlanta or some of the weirdest trips that were forced on people because of the shutdown of the airlines. Amtrak went nuts. The Greyhound people were going crazy. It was unbelievable. Interesting trips. Randy Lucas, during 9/11, Michelle and I were in Cabo San Lucas. We arrived the day before, Monday, and of course, folks couldn't fly out. The resort we were staying at allowed folks to stay, and people put others up so that you had more people than rooms. You come on and share with us. We've got a couch, pull-out couch, bunk up with us. Randy Lucas, in their rooms, scary times. It really was, Randy. Yeah, you're right. It brings it all back, doesn't it? T Hyper 1 on the Queen Mary 2 for the final tandem cross-Atlantic with the QE2 eastbound October 2008. Oh, that must have been something. You got photos. I'm sure you got photos. Did you take videos too? That's cool. That is cool on the QE2 for the final tandem cross-Atlantic. Wow. Neato stuff. Jamie Nelson is here. Hi. I was in high school, but I flew to my aunt's wedding on that Thursday when the airports opened. It was probably the easiest security I've gone through in America since. Isn't that amazing? I found it. I know when I went through security in Seattle, it was tedious, but very thorough. No problems. But it was solemn. T Hyper, and it was QE2's final transatlantic too. Yeah, isn't that? Yeah, I did a video. T Hyper. I did a video about the QE2. I don't know if you've seen it on my channel. It was on its final grand voyage, and at the time we were in Spain, and I was on the Norwegian Jade. It was 2008, and I had no idea that the morning I woke up, and I'm trying to remember exactly where it was. I think it was Cagliari, Italy. I always have a tough time pronouncing that properly. Cagliari. The QE2 was coming in that morning. We were already docked. My daughter and I were getting up, having breakfast. We were going to the buffet at the back of the ship, and there's a commotion at the back of the ship. All kinds of people looking out the back of our cruise ship. I'm wondering what's going on. And we slowly come along, and we can see between the people way out in the water is this big, long black and red with a white top cruise ship, and instantly I knew that's the QE2. And she was coming into the harbor, and she was being brought in. She was being turned around by tugboats and being pulled in backwards to be docked just across from our ship. Oh my goodness. It took an hour for her to be brought in. And I ran back to my room right away, grabbed my camera. I had at that time a digital camera, and I was shooting photos, shooting. And I made a video about this, about the ship coming in and then being docked. I was able to get off the ship later in the morning. I walked across the pier to the QE2. I'm standing right beside this magnificent vessel, and I was taking photos from 10 feet away from her hull and all along the side of her. And oh, what a treat that was. I knew this was a once in a lifetime opportunity for me to get this close, to see this ship, the only time I ever saw her, and to see her that close, it was incredible. And I never knew, I never had an inkling that a decade later I'd make a video about it on YouTube, but I did. So if you get a chance to check my channel out, if you're not a subscriber, please become one. But even if you're not, check out that video and check it out for yourself. Pretty cool. For those of you who are watching today who've never watched before, we love talking about cruise ships, going on cruise ship vacations, and whatever else comes up. Today we're talking about cruise ships, major news events. Where were you when? And if you've got a story, tell us. If you would love to subscribe to my channel, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. You can subscribe. Here's a button here all the time. It's on. But there's a button over here that is on as well. And there's a little bell notification icon beside this subscribe button. Click on that as well. You'll be notified every time I load a new video and every time I go live. I go live 6 days a week, Monday to Friday at 5 in the afternoon Eastern time, Saturdays at 2, like I am now. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I've been throwing in a second show, 8 o'clock Eastern, and usually it's trivia. And today, I got a trivia question at the end of the show today. If you stick around long enough, hopefully I won't bore you to tears about it. Fantastic. That is great. I love QE2 stuff like this. T. Hyper also said, indeed a fan. It was lovely. And T. Hyper saying thank you. Steamy Bean, I would rather be in a small swimming pool full of sexually aroused bottlenose dolphins than watch the royal wedding. Steamer, we all love a thrill, okay? We all love a thrill, but that one isn't one of mine. When a thrill comes to mind, that doesn't come into my thing. Things do bore me. There are things that will bore me, but I won't be doing that to get out of it. Pamela Jordan, I was a substitute teacher in a kindergarten class on the morning of 9/11. Oh my goodness. That must have been something. Pamela, that must have been absolutely unbelievable. How did you hear about it? Did it come over the intercom at recess time when the other teachers got together? Was it at lunchtime? When did you find out? What happened? Wow, what a story. Steamer, I am a teacher, Pamela, as well. He is grade 5s, T Hyper. My dad has, and we were on QM2, Queen Mary 2, as QE2 booked up very quickly. But we had the better view. That's right. You got to see her right from in the water. Unbelievable. I have lovely photos. Oh, that's awesome. That is fantastic. Steaming Bean, Pamela Jordan, where do you teach? T. Hyfer, we were last on board QE2 in July of 2008. Well, that was the last year. Unbelievable. Pamela Jordan, Bean, my last sub job was 2 weeks before my youngest son was born. He is 15 now. I love working with the children, especially the younger ones. So fun. Isn't that great? Thank you, Pamela, for sharing that. Jim Thomas sent me $5 super chat. Thank you, Jim Thomas. Right there. That is hot dog money. Thank you so much. Those of you out there who are supporting me, again, I cannot thank you enough. The support I've been getting for this channel is above and beyond what a YouTuber could dream of. I don't have 25,000 subscribers. I've only got, well, I haven't even told you. I had yesterday 1,981. Right now, 1,989 subscribers. I'm 11 away from 2,000 subscribers. This channel is 9 months old. It's only 9 months old, and I am running up to 2,000 subs. And I am grateful as all get up, as you regulars know. For those of you who follow me or occasionally or haven't followed me before or watching this as a rerun, I survive economically from the benefit from the goodness of my subscribers, my watchers, my fans, my occasional watchers. Excuse me. Super chat works on YouTube for me, but I only get 70% of the proceeds. If you send me a donation directly through PayPal, that is my preferred method of receiving funds. Why? It's instantaneous. 93% comes my way at least, sometimes closer to 95%, because the handling fees are much smaller, and it's instantly into the PayPal account. And you can send it day or night. It doesn't matter when you make a contribution. With Super Chat, Jim Thomas, just great to me. He is able to send me a donation live while I'm on the air, but only when I'm on the air. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can't send me a Super Chat, but you could send me a donation through PayPal if you wanted to. The other way to support this channel, which I'm all excited about, as you folks know, is my new merchandise store, Traveling with Bruce merch. Which you can find on my homepage, just like my PayPal logo on my homepage, where I have the banner across the top saying Traveling with Bruce. Over here on the top right are the icons for Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, PayPal, and the store, Redbubble. The Redbubble logo is the far right. It's a red and white little logo. You click on that, you go right into my store. You'll see all the items that you can get with Traveling with Bruce logos on them, like T-shirts, like coffee mugs, travel mugs, stickers, tote bags, wall clocks, all kinds of stuff. It's all manufactured by the Redbubble people, and they're great. They take your order, they process your order, they collect the money from you, they send me a royalty for every item sold, they report to me every item that is sent to you. They don't tell me your name, but I kind of find out who it is because you tell me. And I always ask, let me know if you bought something. And I've been getting nothing but happy recipients of the goods. The T-shirts look great. They fit great. The cups are great. The tote bags are great. I'm hearing nothing but good things. And I'm so happy that it works that way because I can't screw that up. I just get the designs. The logos get made. I have one of my loyal viewers help me with making logos, and they get put up there, and Redbubble takes care of everything else. It's awesome. So that's a great way to, you look good in Traveling with Bruce merch. I get a commission for that, which is fantastic. It's a win-win, I think. So thank you, everybody, for all your support. Continued. It just means the world to us. At this point in our channel's history, we're not monetized by YouTube because of YouTube's changes in the last few months. Back in January, they changed everything. We're still waiting to be re-monetized. I haven't been paid by YouTube since February the 20th, the last time they credited my account for advertising revenue to my channel. So the last time I got paid. It's now May the 19th, so it's what, 2 months later? March, April, 3 months later. This is 90 days, not a dime from YouTube, not a dime. Everything I've earned since then, I've had to get from my viewers directly through either out-and-out contributions on Super Chat, PayPal, or Patreon pledges, which is another area you can go where you can make a monthly pledge to my channel. I have a few folks who pay me there, which I again thank you so much, and or the merchandise. Now the merchandise. So there are 4 places I get funding from, none from YouTube, and I'm waiting, like everyone else in my boat, at least a million other channels. We're still waiting for YouTube to remonetize us, and we're told the end of June, maybe. No guarantees because they've missed 2 deadlines already. They missed the end of March deadline, the April deadline. Now they're telling us it's a June deadline. I'll believe it when I see it because I've given up counting on them because I can't count on them. I don't know how long they're going to take. And so thank you, everybody. Okay, enough for that. Pamela Jordan, the teacher's assistant in the classroom next door, had went to the office and heard about it there. She stopped by to tell us on the way back to her class. That's how you found out about 9/11. Unbelievable. We'll never forget it. Ruthie B. Hi, Bruce. We are excited for June 3rd. My husband, Steve, is hoping to meet you on a cruise someday. Have a great day. Ruthie B. It will happen. She's saying, oh, we are excited because we'll be on the Oasis. This is awesome stuff. June the 3rd. It's coming. Ruthie, you're going to have to tell us all about it. Try and watch the show when you're on the ship. Send me live reports. You don't have to, but we love it when you do. But when you get back, please let us know how it goes. And there will come a time where we will meet. It will happen. I want to do a meet and greet. I want to do several meet and greet cruises, not just one. And I'm plotting. I'm plotting away. Leave it to me. I will let you know when I'm ready. Randy Lucas, people were taking a 24-hour bus from Cabo to Tijuana to get back, only to find the border closed for the first several days. Exactly. There were panicked Americans and all kinds of people trying to get back to America, where they had, friends, loved ones, you name it. And they couldn't eat. When they got back to the border, it was shut down. Unbelievable. It was a complete shutdown, but thankfully after a few days, they reopened the land borders, and slowly things kind of got moving again. But on the airfare side, there were so many people stranded everywhere. It was just unbelievable. Pamela Jordan, cool, Ruthie B. We went on the Oasis last year and are going back to her this December. She's an awesome ship. The Steam and Bean, Bruce, you should interview me when I get off the Escape this July. See, got to interview him how it's going. How did that happen? Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know if I should interview you privately and then tell the world what you said, or should we do it live on the air? I don't. I think Steamer and I are going to have a lot of fun. We're having fun already. Unbelievable. What else was I going to talk about? I was also asking, where were you when Diana died, Princess Diana? I was thinking about the wedding today, and I couldn't sleep this morning. I woke up at 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep, and I got up and I was hungry. So I had a bowl of Cheerios in the morning. I turned the TV on, and it's all about the wedding. Okay, I'll watch it. I kept the sound very low so I wouldn't bother Jen. And then, of course, the wedding started at 4. And I was just impressed with the military precision of the entire event. I love that. And, of course, perfect weather. What a gorgeous day for the wedding. And really enjoyed that. Brought back memories of Diana's wedding, which back in the, what was that, in the 80s, folks? Was that in the 80s? Oh, gosh, I think it was in the 80s. Oh, we're old. And then I remembered when she passed away in 1997. And that was just unbelievable. That night, that was a terrible night because the news came out to us in the evening, and I think it was around 6 or 7 in the evening we first heard about it, and then as the evening progressed, it just got worse and worse until she was pronounced dead. I mean, we couldn't believe it. It was my last, it was the last summer. It was the summertime of 97, and within 6 months, the three of us, myself, Jen, and my daughter, we were living in the Cayman Islands, and that was a terrible night. Having that, we just couldn't turn the TV off. We just watched it, and the bulletins kept coming, and whatever. Steamy Bean, you could do 15-minute live interviews. I could. I certainly could. Steamy Bean, I was in Korea when Diana died, and 1981 for Diana. Heifer says the wedding. Yes, the wedding. That's right. The wedding in 1981. And they did have satellite. They did have satellite live footage of the event. Unlike days way back when it would have all had to been done with film, flown over like Princess Elizabeth's coronation. They filmed it, edited it, then they flew it over and broadcast it in the United States. Where here we got to see it, live with the grainy TV on our old tube televisions. But here we are today watching this incredible footage from Windsor with the drones and the helicopters and the cranes, and oh my gosh, and the perfect quality of the photography, the cinematography of the event. Wow, it's just stunning. And you can follow the celebrities. Whoa, Debbie Emanuel. Oh, God bless you, Debbie. Oh my goodness. I caught that. I just saw that, Debbie. Oh my goodness, Debbie, you are so kind to me. Thank you so much. She just sent me a PayPal contribution of $45 American. Oh my God. Oh, that's more than a chicken bake. I'll tell you that right now. I'm gonna get gas. We can get some groceries. Thank you, Debbie. Always thank you so much. You are just one of the best. You and Jim, and there's a bunch of you. The thing about this channel survival, it isn't one or two folks helping me get through. There are several dozen of you who you just help me out, send me to. It's awesome. I love it. It means the world to me. It's my full-time job. It's what I do. It's how I survive. It helps. Jen does her part. I do mine, and off we go. Anyway, back to the show today. This unbelievable show. Did any of you happen to see? I was watching MSNBC because I don't know why. I just kind of like Stephanie Ruhle and the other gals, Joy and the others, and I like to listen to them. And of course, they're just giddy about the whole thing. And I have to admit, a lot of it, I muted it. I'm sorry. I just want to see the pictures. But I happened to catch, I had the sound on when the bride and groom came out of the church, and then they got into the carriage, and the horses started trotting along. And it wasn't too long after coming out of the actual castle that they came by the location, the physical location, where Stephanie Ruhle happened to be standing on camera, her camera position. And she's on a bit of, I think she's on a bit of a platform somehow. And the carriage comes through the gate. And here's, I know Stephanie and the other gal, I can't remember her name. I watch her all the time, but I just don't remember her name. I'm sorry, MSNBC. Anyway, the two of them were so giddy, and I loved it. It was so genuine. They really were excited. There are producers back in New York that I know they are thanking big time for letting them go to cover this event, or they threatened, you don't send me to cover this, I will get you in the end. So they got to go. And here they are. You never see them turn their backs to us as viewers. Never, of course. I mean, they're always perfect makeup, perfect hair. If you could see what they look like from behind, it wouldn't be pretty. Oh my goodness. So here they were. They knew the carriage was coming, and it was coming from behind them. It was coming from over here, and it would go right by this like this. So they turned around, and they were waving, and they got a wave. They got a wave from the bride. Oh, they were jumping up and down. They were so excited. It was just, I loved it. I loved it. It was pure, 100% real emotion from two anchors that, what do they do all day long? Well, they slam Trump, and they slam this politician, and they cover this story, and they cover school shootings, and they cover bad news. And, here they are at something they live for, and they got to enjoy it. I thought it was fantastic. I just one way to go. They've replayed it a few times on MSNBC. I'm sure you'll see a YouTube clip of this event. I'm sure it's on everywhere. And yeah, what a day. What a beautiful day. What beautiful ceremony. And came off without a hitch, from what I understand. Fantastic. Happy to see it. It brings back memories of Diana, though, doesn't it? When you see the two brothers sitting side by side before the ceremony, talking to each other, and you're looking at William, doesn't he look like Mom? Unbelievable. And his mannerisms, and how he would look up at the top of the ceiling, and you could just see her in him. You just see her. It was emotional for me. Brought her back. Miss her. It was a sad ending. Okay, the Steamy Bean, it'll be very strange when the Queen passes. It'll be solemn, very solemn. And it's not too long. I mean, she's 92. He's 96. The Duke of Edinburgh. We've been on bonus time here. She is sharp as a tack, fully together mentally, no dementia, no nothing. From what I know, she's on the job. It's incredible. It is a testament to her stamina and her dedication to her duties. It's unbelievable. Jamie Nelson, I was at my grandma's house. I remember parts like my mom being very upset and crying. I didn't understand what was going on. And Jamie, was that about the Diana or 9/11 or both? Could have been both. Jim Thomas, Bruce, I kissed Deb on the forehead for you. Thank you, Jim. That's wonderful. I was going to say something that maybe the Steamer was going to say, and I'm not saying it. Steamer, I'm not putting words in your mouth. I love the Steamer so much. He's great. Deb, yeah, thank you. Give her a long one on the forehead for me. Thank you, Deb, so much. That's awesome. Steam and Bean, people throwing other people on pedestals. Well, there you go. Jamie Nelson, the wedding was on at a normal time here in Russia, I was watching. Oh, right on, Jamie. Steamy Bean, Bruce, are you booked on a cruise? No, not yet. Not yet booked. Steamy Bean is correcting himself. Cruise. Jamie Nelson, I was at Grandma when Diana died. Okay, you were at Grandma's house when Diana died. Yeah, that was a sad. That just turned into a, I mean, we went from horror hearing about the accident, then we were hopeful that, well, the paramedics are there, and then we heard, well, the driver is dead. Oh gosh! And then we heard the Doty died. He was killed instantly, and we, oh God, no. Wondering about Diana. Did she survive it? She was in the back seat on the passenger side. She was not on the driver's side. And then we heard that the passenger, the bodyguard in the front, he was alive, in critical condition, but it was alive. So we thought, well, gosh, if he survived it, maybe Diana survived. Then we, she was in the hospital, and it was just like a bad news story, just drip, 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 and we're waiting and waiting, and then the bulletin started to come that she was gone, and we couldn't. She was 36, I think, 36 years old, or 37, and we're just, oh no, and our daughter was 97. She was 9, and she was watching with us. And at the beginning, she was just playing with her toys while it was coming, but she was getting more and more interested as she noticed Jen and I, watching this. And then she realized what happened, and the pictures of the princesses being shown, and then the announcement, and she was putting 2 and 2 together. And we didn't hide it from her. We were upfront with her, completely upfront with her about what was going on. And then they showed that vehicle being brought out of that tunnel, and we were outraged. We were just outraged at the condition of that car, what had happened to them, and why it was going at the speed it was going, what caused it in the first place. We were pretty upset, and as was the planet. What a terrible story. Steamy Bean, which cruise would interest you? The steamer is asking me. I'm thinking... for the first meet and greet cruise, I'm thinking of something in the November, December range, perhaps. I'm looking to do a meet and greet cruise on a very affordable cruise. I'm not looking for a high-end, expensive, pay through the nose kind of deal. I'm looking to get as many of the followers as possible to want to go, because the deal is so good we can't pass it up. So it might well be a Holland America cruise out of Florida. It might be a celebrity cruise. It might be, I don't know. It might, it just whatever works. I know the kind of cruise I would like to be on. I mean, I got my wish list, but then there's the reality of the dollars, and timing and everything else. But I'm also thinking ahead. I'm not interested in just booking one cruise and that's it. I'm also thinking ahead about, there might be a cruise in late January and February, somewhere in there. Then there may be a third cruise that could be a repositioning type cruise. It could be something like that. There might be a fourth cruise that might well be a cruise after the repositioning cruise in Europe. It might be right away, or a week later, or 2 weeks later. There might be a little traveling in Europe in between, and then boom, a British Isle type cruise or something like that. So I've got a lot on the plate going forward that I'd like to do. Which of course will alter the schedule, obviously, with live streams from my living room and that type of thing. But I'll let you know when I'm ready. Right now, all my attention is focused on my daily task at hand, and growing this channel, and getting more comfortable doing what I'm doing, and then growing the following, the subscriber base, the viewer base, and making sure that the channel is economically adding to my ability to get around and do what I do. So it's all being built as you see it live, one day at a time. I'm building this channel one day at a time. Excuse me. Pamela Jordan, I had my clock set for 5 a.m. Eastern time this morning so I could see all the footage of the royal wedding. I chose to watch the Today Show coverage. They were so entertaining this morning. Fantastic. Steaming Bean, Bruce, you have Zimmerman's taste, but you are a thousandaire. Exactly. Jim Sim has millions of views a month. I have thousands. I know what I'm shooting for. I see the promised land. I want to get up there. Cunard Voyage. A T. Hyper saying you should do a Cunard Voyage. Exactly, I should. Charles Jordan, this December 16th, 2018, prices are still low for this cruise, around $650 for an inside room on the Oasis. There are deals, aren't there? There are deals everywhere, Charles, and there will be. Steaming Bean, great price. I noticed this morning, just about an hour ago, I got an email from Princess. 2-for-1 deposit deals. Book your cruise now and only pay for one person's deposit, and we'll hold the cabin for two. Then we've got spending money on board. Then we've got everybody right now has got incentives all over the place for deals to get us to commit to a cruise. And yet the cruise industry is talking about, oh, it's record numbers and it's record this and it's record that. What they don't mention is that we know, watching me, you definitely know this. It's like every month there's a new cruise ship being delivered, isn't there? Like every month there's a new cruise ship. Symphony of the Seas has come out. The Bliss has come out. Carnival Horizon has come out. The Edge it's coming. These aren't 1,500 passenger cruise ships, are they? No. 4, 5, 6,000 passengers per cruise being added to capacity. And eventually, most of those ships are coming to North America, right? They're coming to the Caribbean. They're coming to Alaska. They're coming for the New England area. They're coming to our part of the world. And this means these cruise lines have got to fill up more berths every week to maintain their accommodation, their capacity. They have to have that many more passengers every week, every month, every year booked to maintain that high booking count that they are counting on. That doesn't always happen that way. And sometimes world events come into play, something like what we're talking about here. Sometimes a tragic event, a sinister event, a terrorism event, whatever event happens, wherever it happens, and it has an effect on the price of oil, interest rates, the stock market, the economy as a whole, and it changes people's travel patterns temporarily, perhaps, or for a 3-4 month time frame, or for a year. And poo happens, poop happens, and who's the beneficiary? Well, if you're a savvy cruiser, you're aware of cruise ship pricing, cruise ship availability, star ratings, 4-star cruises, 5-star cruises, 6-star cruises. You know the market, and you can see a deal. You see a bargain that just shows up that's out of the blue. You know when to jump and strike and grab that deal. So, things look one way today and they look different tomorrow. And those of us in the know sometimes can jump on these deals. Jamie Nelson, I am cruising Norway on my way to moving to China in August. I am not going to be able to go on as many cruises next year from China. It's much more difficult. Yes, it is. There are ships being moved in and moved out of there. There's a bit of this going on. But on the other hand, Jamie, you may find that once you're there, if you are anywhere, you're going to be near, one way or the other, you're going to be near airports in China. High-speed rail and airports. You may find that some of the airlines in Asia are so cheap on some of these discount airlines, you can get to a cruise ship for a heck of a good price and back. And you may well be taking cruises in and out of Japan, in and out of Hong Kong, in and out of Malaysia, in and out of Singapore. I mean, you might be taking a flight to Australia on the cheap, and grabbing Australian and New Zealand cruises from time to time. You might find deals like that. So do not be discouraged. Don't be too depressed about it. Just view it as another angle from where you might be cruising from. And or, of course, you're going to be in China for a while. You got a country to discover, my friend, and high-speed rail will show you so much of China that you could not have seen in past years. It's exciting. It's exciting. I look forward to you keeping in touch with us if you can, and letting us know what you're up to over there. That would be fun. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Charles Jordan, Steaming Bean. We booked back in December 2017 for $503 each. Yeah, baby. Deals. Seakeeper, hi. I will clear my schedule for November until February. Let's get booking already. Anything but a Klingon barge of the damned, please. Klingon barge of the damned, according to my friend Seakeeper, is anything with a carnival logo on it. I love you, Seakeeper. You're great. The steaming bean. My inside cabin on the Escape is ridiculously expensive for this July. It's just not fair. And you're a school teacher. Guess what you can't do? You can't cruise on certain months of the year because of work. And I hear you. You're stuck in that, schedule. That's just the way it is. Jamie Nelson. And now I just got to. Now I just go to Europe. I have done 2 Mediterranean trips and Greek islands, as well as the Baltics in the past 13 months, and Australia. I'm not sure that I want to cruise out of China. Well, you're going to check it out, Jamie, and you're going to let us know. You're not afraid to go on the trips. So, you may find that it's a piece of cake for you. You may find that through Royal Caribbean or Norwegian or whichever line, you can get on, Princess, you might find it works. Let us know. I know the Quantum of the Seas is headed to China, and also the Spectrum of the Seas, Spectrum of the Seas will be going out of Shanghai. So, Jamie, this is something you're going to have to look into, and you're going to let us know, if you could, how it works out there. I'm dying to know. That will be most interesting. Steaming bean, but Bermuda cruises are costly. Isn't that something, eh? Why? But they are. Steaming bean, that is why I would be willing to share a cabin with Bruce and Jen. I know it. I know that's a standing offer. I've told Jen this news, and the panicked look on her face, I got the answer right there. Charles Jordan, Steam and Bean, back in June 17, these same rooms cost $860 for each of us. Now they're cheaper. Steam and Bean, poo-poo. Jeez, Bruce. G-rated, Mr. Steamer, G-rated. Steam and Bean, keeper, Klingon barge, love it. CKP loves that. Auntie Jane 11, good morning. All just woke up. Sunday morning here. It's New Zealand. Just getting my coffee. Welcome, Auntie Jane, to the show. The topic of discussion is, well, I know in your case you haven't been on a cruise yet. You're about to. So the question originally was, where were you? Were you ever on a cruise ship when there was bad or good news coming your way? But then we kind of broadened that a little bit to, where were you during 9/11? Where were you when Princess Diana died? Where were you when the space shuttle blew in 1980? Was it 86 in Florida? Bad news, really changed the world. Where were you? How did it affect you? How did you hear about it? That kind of thing. Let's see here. Steaming Bean. Jen watched my videos. Her heart would melt. Pamela Jordan. Okay, I'll need to tap the thumbs up for Bruce today. She's saying, thank you, everybody. Jamie Nelson, I have lived in China before. So Jamie's not so happy about that. Okay, gotcha, Jamie. You're read between the lines here. I'm getting you. Steaming Bean. Good morning, Auntie Jane. The Steaming Bean. Does Auntie Jane buy her groceries at Foodland? We'll have to see. Seakeeper, I think summer cruises to the Caribbean are expensive because there are so few ships here, and a lot of people vacation during the summer. Exactly. That's when people can vacation, and so the cruise lines have a field day with summer bookings, Caribbean bookings, Alaska bookings. But I will say, I have found fantastic deals to Alaska for May and June, and even into July. But you might have to tolerate an inside room. But boy, if it's just two of you going, how about under $400 for a week on a Holland America cruise ship to Alaska? You could do it back to back, Vancouver to Anchorage, Anchorage back to Vancouver, under $400 a week each way. The food alone is more than that. That's a fantastic offer. So shop around and look. Don't be closed-minded about inside rooms. Keep an eye, shop around. But I did see some pretty good pricing June and July for the Baltic area, the British Isles, Norway, Sweden. Found some nice deals there too. I would look into this. Do not be put off by the high-priced balcony suites on the new ships only. Keep an open mind. I also was looking the other day at Pullmantur. That is the lower cost cruise line that Royal Caribbean owns. I'll get it out. Royal Caribbean. And they're using in two cases, I think two of the four ships they have, I think in two of the four, they are former Royal Caribbean cruise ships, one of which is definitely a former Royal Caribbean cruise ship. And when it was built in 88, was the largest cruise ship in the world at that time. And the pricing is so good. You're looking at inside room, ocean view room, generally speaking, very few balconies. I don't even bother with the balconies. I'm looking at ocean view rooms for like $30 to $40 a night in places like the Baltic region, also the Mediterranean region. A lot of cruises in the Mediterranean region, excuse me. And then in the wintertime, Caribbean cruises for 30, $40 a night. Real good bargains. I'm looking at YouTube videos. Happy travelers, happy people. They like the casual atmosphere of the ship. They like the pricing. They love the food. I found it interesting. Again, that's something to think about for those of you on a budget who want to have, you want to have a 1 week or a 10-day or 12-day Mediterranean experience, and you can get a discount flight from, say, North America on Norwegian Airlines or these other discount airlines. These folks are flying brand new 787 Dreamliner aircraft, offering $300, $350 one-way or $700 round trip to Europe flights. It doesn't matter whether the flight's to Vienna and the ship goes from Rome. It doesn't matter. Get to Vienna 4 days early, enjoy Vienna a day or two, bed and breakfast it, and then grab a train ride from Vienna to Rome and get on that cruise ship for $35 a night for the Mediterranean for 10, 12 days. Wow. With meals. Wow, what a deal. And then at the end of the trip, if your return flight is from Vienna, train it back. You can buy your train tickets in advance for cheap. And you're getting Europe on kind of like a student price, I would say, almost like a backpacker's deal, because for two people, even with tips and port charges and everything else, you're still under 120 US combined for the two of you for a 12-day cruise. Oh, you can't beat that. You cannot. There's nothing on land like that. Nothing. That's fantastic. That I would highly recommend. Seakeeper Cruises Caribbean. Good morning, Bean. Auntie Jane. Good morning, Bean. No, not Foodland. Jamie Nelson. I found cheap prices to Alaska for the summer. The cruise I want to take for Christmas is $3,400. Oh my gosh, that's insane, Jamie. That's crazy. The NCL 9-night to Norway this summer, starting at $900 at the end of July. $100 a night. That's fair. That's dollars, not euros. That's pretty good. Seakeeper, Alaska on a Klingon barge is a perfect nightmare for me. I like tropical locations. I spent 50 years of my life in snow. Never more. You're not getting me to go there. I hear you, Seakeeper. A cheap flight over to Madrid, Lisbon, Barcelona, Frankfurt, whatever, on any of these airlines might be the way to get a cheap European cruise in. Might be another way to go. Jamie Nelson, the one-way plane ticket to Hamburg is $1,900 plus. That's crazy. Fly in somewhere else and train at the Hamburg. I don't know. Steamy Bean, Auntie, are you in Wellington? Jamie Nelson is clarifying himself. Ticket. Auntie Jane Bean, I am in Thames, in the Coromandel. Okay, very nice. I think that's closer to Auckland. If I'm right, because you were telling me. Sorry, let me just double check here. Yeah, are you closer to Auckland? Because you were telling another cruiser that if they ever came there, that you'd meet them and you could get there pretty quick. I'm not sure of the geography of New Zealand, so pardon me on that. Steamy Bean, very nice. Steamy Bean, Seakeeper, are you a trekker? Stephen Bean loves to talk to everybody. There's no mercy here. He's talking to everybody. Other news that I had today. First of all, I was going to talk about Disney. Disney Cruise Lines is looking at picking up a second property in the Bahamas to make into a private resort, private cay, private island, whatever you want to call it. They already have Castaway Cay now in the Bahamas. They're looking at a property that's 700 acres in size, beautiful reefs, beachfront, you name it, in Eleuthera, the island of Eleuthera, or area of Eleuthera. And why? The question is, why would Disney want a second property in the Bahamas when they already have one? The reason is that they've got 3 brand new cruise ships coming in, one in 2021, another one in 2022, another one in 2023, each at 145,000 gross tons, which tells me the capacity per ship would be 4,000 to 4,500 with the kids stacked in with mom and dad in the rooms. So With that much capacity coming, they're looking ahead going, we could have every day of the week one ship from our existing fleet in one of the islands, one of our new ships in another island, 7 days a week on a rotating basis. These resorts, we need two. We can't go with one anymore. We need two. And that way they can keep the dollars internally. Vertical integration, they get you on the ship, and 2 stops on your 7-day cruise are to their private resorts, and you're spending your money on land at Disney properties rather than going out to St. Thomas and spending it to the masses. You're spending it on Disney property only. This is happening also with MSC Seaside. They're adding their own private locations in the Caribbean now. They're building now. Carnival is building additional private resorts now. There will be a time in the next 3 or 4 years, you'll take a cruise on whatever cruise line for a Caribbean area, and you may find that 1, 2, or 3 stops are on ship property, not at a city like San Juan only, where you just get off the ship and go whatever. Now they can get your dollars nonstop from the minute you get on the ship until you get off the ship. 7 days later, you've been on nothing but Carnival property, or nothing but MSC property, or nothing but Royal Caribbean property, or Disney property in this case. This is coming. It's happening, and they're spending millions. Royal Caribbean, $100+ million to develop Coco Cay, or develop it up. Unbelievable money. They're not fooling around. They're going to bring in these Oasis class ships to Coco Cay, and all 6,500 passengers are on Royal Caribbean property 24/7, spending money there. That's how they can build billion-dollar cruise ships and $100 million private resorts. It's a huge business. Another piece of news I was going to bring up today was Vancouver is all excited. Well, they're doing a big PR campaign out of Vancouver, British Columbia, about the fact that they're expecting their 25th millionth passenger to visit Vancouver over the past 20, 30 years or so. I look at this with great skepticism, because I'm going, really? That's odd. That's really interesting that it would happen to be the 25th millionth passenger right at the beginning of the cruise season, rather than like in October this year. It's actually in May. They've predicted May 23rd, that'll be the day. How do they know that? How do they know that May 23rd is exactly the day the 25th millionth passenger is going to step off that ship? How do you know that? It's convenient, and it's a PR marketing ploy to build awareness and promote the harbor. I'm not sure if the Port of Vancouver is trying to get government money to enhance their port facilities, and they want to spew out this good vibe news and all this economic reality to kind of get governments to step up and build another pier. Don't know. There's a lot of politics involved in piers. But anyway, I looked at this with a bit of I kind of went like this. I went, really? Really? The 25th million on May the 23rd? How interesting. How would you know that? Here's something else that caught my eye. Yesterday, if you were watching my show, I was talking about San Juan, Puerto Rico. That one day, this past week, they had 17,000 people come off 4 cruise ships in San Juan, Puerto Rico in one day. And that the economic impact was $1.5 million. And I asked, how do they know that? And I broke it down to a per passenger number, $85 a passenger for that day, average. And I thought, well, when I was in San Juan, Puerto Rico, I didn't spend no $85. That wasn't why Jen didn't spend no $85. No way. We went off the ship. Yeah. We walked around downtown. Yeah. We spent a few bucks, but we didn't spend $85 each. No way did we spend that. So that meant other passengers had to spend way more than 85 to make up for us not spending 85. And I figured out that on that day, there were 3,800 of us who got there, and maybe, I don't know, 3,000 of us got off the ship. 800 didn't even get off the ship. They didn't spend $85. And then of the 3,000 that did get off the ship, maybe 2,000 took a tour, maybe. And even then, not all 2,000 spent $85 on a tour. Some might have spent 40, 50 bucks. Now, some spent 200, 150, yes. But I can't believe that they spent enough to make it up for all the rest of us. And here in Vancouver, just to kind of take it to this story, excuse me, Vancouver is saying that they've got a day coming up later this month where they're expecting 17,000 passengers themselves. 4 ships coming into Vancouver on the same day. They're expecting, what were they talking about? They were expecting $2 million of spending in one day, not 1.5. I thought, how do you guys come up with that? How do you guys come up with even more money per passenger in Vancouver? Because Vancouver is a lovely city to visit, and you don't need to take a tour to see it. You really don't. The ships dock right downtown, right in the downtown core, and you can walk off the ship, and within 3 blocks, you're in downtown Vancouver, and it's pretty. Stanley Park, which is a world-famous, gorgeous piece of real estate, is just across the harbor from the ships. You grab a cab for $15 max, and you can, that's Canadian dollars, by the way. You can be in Stanley Park in 15 minutes, and you can rent a bike, $10, $15. You don't have to spend. This average was over $200. No, so what did I come up with? I came up with a ridiculous amount of money that these people were expecting people to spend on a per day basis. There's no way they could do it. You don't have to do it. Now, yes, you can spend some serious money in Vancouver. Oh, yes, you can. You can take a guided tour, a private guided tour for 4, 8, 10 people, and probably spend $100 each. But unless you're buying like diamond rings in Vancouver, and why would you want to do that? I don't get it. Buying Rolex watches in Vancouver, not a good idea. The sales tax will kill you. So there are no deals like that in Vancouver. You don't go to Vancouver to buy $2 t-shirts. You end up with $20 t-shirts. Maybe that's how they figure they get the money. They also were saying that they're going to have 843,000 passengers go through the port this year, and that they were expecting $1.6 billion of economic activity. And I did the math on that one. That's $2,000 a passenger. Now, okay, if you are starting your cruise in Vancouver and you're ending your cruise in Vancouver, and you had to fly into Vancouver to get to the cruise, and you're flying out of Vancouver after your cruise is over, and you're spending a couple of nights in the hotel before the cruise or after the cruise, and you're renting a car, and you're doing this, and you're doing that, and you add it all together, yeah, I guess it's 2,000 a passenger. Maybe it's more. But this 843,000 isn't people using Vancouver as a home port. This is 843,000 people coming through the port. There's a lot of folks that are just coming off the ship for 6 hours and leaving. So I don't get the numbers. I'm having a tough time here. And I'm putting on this look. Remember that look that you used to get from your parents? I'm putting on that look going, where'd you come up with these numbers and how are you justifying them? Because I don't get it. But I will admit up front without any hesitation, Vancouver is a fortune. You want to go visit Vancouver? Bring a lot of cash because it's expensive to visit Vancouver. The taxes are ridiculous. Gasoline for a rental car, you're talking $1.60 a liter right now. That works out to, oh my goodness, $6.50 a gallon, U.S. gallon, Canadian, almost $5 a U.S. gallon for gas in Vancouver. Go to Seattle. It's much cheaper. Hotels, they got the 18-20% tax. There's the provincial tax, the federal GST, and then there's the city of Vancouver. Hi, how are you? You're a tourist. You don't vote. We're going to nail you a tax. It's unbelievable. The prices in Vancouver are just sky high. It's pretty. It is pretty. But boy, it's pretty expensive too. So I don't know how these numbers come out, but there they are. That's what I've got. I'm just saying. Let's see what we got here. I've got comments coming in, so I want to make sure I keep up with you guys. Steaming Bean, are you a trekker? Steaming Bean, the Coromandel is breathtaking in New Zealand. Steaming Bean is saying, Thomas Henry, live long and prosper, keeper, Seakeeper, just a bit of a trekkie. I hope to cruise long and prosper. Steaming Bean, Seakeeper, I recommend the YouTube series called Star Trek Continues. Steaming Bean, Disney only in small doses. Steaming Bean said, I did well steering Bruce away from the chat about the Royals. Quite proud. Jamie Nelson, I will help the cruise lines make more. It'll help the cruise lines make more money. Jamie Nelson is talking about here. Steaming Bean, I want the real ports. Auntie Jane, this is about these islands. Auntie Jane heard all about the tragic events all on land. Didn't even entertain the idea of a cruise back then. Now it's like the #1 plan in the world. Laugh out loud. Right on, Auntie Jane. Bean, laugh out loud. Very proud. Steamy Bean, my May 23rd is a long weekend. What a coinky dink. Yes, quinky dink. The long weekend is when the 25th million passenger will be in Vancouver on the long weekend. Wow. Oh, what a perfect time to have a celebration. It's incredible. It is incredible. Bruce struggles with typos. I do. T Hyper, Star Trek fan here too. Steaming Bean, cool. Love Star Trek. Okay, T Hyper, I got something for you. This is it. I got a commercial. Here we go. See that? You see that right there? That is a medallion of the Star Trek logo. I got all these medallions from U.S. colleges, sports teams here, necklaces, but I happen to have Star Trek medallions. You take one of those and put some super glue on the back of that. You can glue that onto anything, onto a keychain, onto your wallet. You can, if you don't put anything on it, you can use it as a ball marker on a golf course. You get one of those with a $10 contribution to my channel. Seakeeper's way ahead of you on that one. He's already got one. If you want one, just send me $10 US on PayPal, and I'll mail it to you no charge. You're welcome to it, or any of these, by the way, for any of you who want anything like that. Great way to help me raise money. the steamer, you guys with the Star Trek. Thomas Henry, at least he doesn't hear the bad words yelled at the tablet. I like the computer keyboard better. Right on. Seakeeper, I have big fingers, so I hook up the regular keyboard to my tablet. Typing on the screen is for the birds. Steaming Bean, I am on my new laptop, Steaming Bean, but I make many typos. I have very large hands. Auntie Jane, damned autocorrect. To Hyper. I'm on my iPhone, Steamer. Try that for keyboard size. Laugh out loud. Seakeeper, I have one of those Starfleet medallions. Love it. Amazing medallion. Hyper saying, Steamy Bean, I want to glue that medallion onto my bare chest right there. Just, and then just touch it and talk to the bridge and, beam me up, Yeah, absolutely. I hear you. Yeah, I had about 35 of them at one time. I got about 15 or so left, and sold them to all kinds of people over the years when I had my store way back when I used to sell this sort of stuff. But those days are long gone by. Okay, I got a trivia question for you guys. Let's see if you want to play this one. Let me just turn my page here. Here we go. I'm going to ask you a question about it's about 9/11. It's a bit of a trivia 9/11 type question. After the event, and since the event, many countries have set up memorials. Tell me the names of the countries that have set up a memorial for 9/11, because countries lost their citizens as well as Americans. There were a lot of nationals. I've got, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12. I've got 14 countries that have set up a memorial other than the United States to 9/11. And if you'd like, take your best guess at what these countries are. I'll give you tips if you need them. Let's see. Steamy Bean, I want to glue that on my chest. Steamy Bean, a guy with big hands has big gloves. Steamy Bean, USA, which is obvious, of course. Steaming Bean, the United Kingdom, UK. Yep, UK has done a memorial. Steaming Bean is thinking about New Zealand. I don't have one here on this list. And forgive me if you know of one in your country and I haven't mentioned it. I apologize. This list might be a few years old, so I could be off base here. Auntie Jane is thinking Canada. Yes, Canada definitely has 9/11 memorials and several. There are pieces of the World Trade Center steel beams in several places in Canada, actually. Of course, we love America too. Steaming Bean, Australia. Yes, definitely Australia. Auntie Jane, UK, you got it. France, Jim Thomas, France. Yes, indeed. T. Heifer, France, you're correct. Steaming Bean, Germany. I'm certain Germany does. This list just doesn't show it. Today, there really are no wrong answers. Seakeeper, Israel, definitely Israel. Ireland, definitely Ireland. The Philippines, I don't have them on this list, but I wouldn't doubt it. Thomas Henry, Israel. Steaming Bean, Saudi Arabia. Not on this list. Believe it or not, my list doesn't show it. I'm not sure if there is a memorial to 9/11 in Saudi Arabia. Steaming Bean, Spain. Yes, definitely on the list. Auntie Jane, Japan. I'm not showing it on the list, but I'm certain it is that there would be. Poland, Steaming Beans. Thinking about Poland? Yes, on this list for sure. China, Auntie Jane. Yes, definitely on this list. China. Canada, we've already got, definitely on the list. We have right now Australia, Canada, China, France, Ireland, Israel, Poland, Spain, UK, and a bunch of others. And we'll see how any more guesses come in. I only have about 5 or so left that are on this list. It was a short list. Excuse me. Let's see here. I've got 1, 2, 3 European countries on this list. And 2 Asian countries on this list for sure. Let's see, Russia. Is Russia on the list? I don't show Russia on the list. Mexico. Pamela Jordan is thinking Mexico. Don't have it on this list, but I'm certain there's something in Mexico about 9/11. South Africa didn't register on this list. No, not South Africa. Brazil did not register on this list either. Don't have a memorial to it. The list that I found this from was a list of memorials, actual physical memorials, and the country they were in. And I listed off the countries, not the actual memorials. And again, there was only this list is only a short one at this point. Taiwan, Steaming Bean is thinking about Taiwan. Don't have it here. North Korea, no, not North Korea. There's another Korea you could guess. You might be right on the other one. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. In Europe, I have one country on the continent, a second one in the continent, but a bit east, and then I have a European country that's an island. Let's see here. Belgium, no. Argentina, no. Belgium, no. South Korea, yes. South Korea, thank you. Pamela and the Steaming Bean got that one. I've got the other Asian country. Do I have one other Asian country? Let me just double check here. Yes, this Asian, well, Asia is kind of, it's sort of Asia, it's sort of Middle East, it's sort of towards Asia, and it's officially Asia, the second most populous country in the world, to give you a hint. Okay, the other one, oh, Pam got it. Steaming Bean, Pamela was too quick. There you go. West Morrison, Spain. We did have Spain already. Netherlands, not on this list, no. Let's see. I've got an island, a European island, and I've got, there it is. Iceland is here. It landed. India just came in, correct. Turkey, no, not on the list, which is surprising. Looking for a mainland European country on the continent. And I've got another one that's just off, it would be east of this particular country. Let's see, we got Turkey, Iceland, India, Vietnam. No more Asia countries on this list. The continental European country I'm thinking of is south of Switzerland and Austria. And the other country is in turmoil these days, constant turmoil. The US and Canada support them, but they are in turmoil right now. Let's see, we got Poland here. Italy, there we go. Italy, that was the one. We have one left. And the Russians are meddling in their affairs, and the Americans and Canadians are supporting them right now. Is the other country I'm thinking about. And we'll see if we come in here. We have Portugal, Czech Republic coming in, Poland coming in. Not the countries I'm thinking of. The one country I'm thinking of has got Russian troops in it right now, and the West isn't happy about it. If anyone wants to pick up that country, there it is, Steaming Bean, the Ukraine. There we go. The Ukraine came in. That's my list today that I had. I had Australia, Canada, China, France, Iceland, India, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Poland, South Korea, Spain, Ukraine, and the United Kingdom. Those are the countries, according to the list I had found today, with actual memorials to 9/11. We all know that virtually every country in the world had a tribute to the event, but actual physical memorials are these countries for sure. A number of them have multiple memorials in these countries, Canada being one. And I thought I'd mention that today. That was the only trivia I made up today. I was more focused today on addressing the events of the day until the steamer tried to talk me out of talking about the Royals and events over time. And then again, today was a day also of thanks to all of you out there who are supporting this channel in every conceivable way possible. I am overwhelmed with that. Today, Debbie, you're outdone yourself, Debbie. Thank you so much. That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. This is Saturday, May the 19th, 2018. Thank you for your support today. I got 19 thumbs ups. Thank you for those. If anyone has any thumbs ups they would like to throw my way, I would appreciate them. Thank you for those. The channel continues to move along. I'm off tomorrow. I'm headed to Coeur d'Alene with Jen. We're going to Costco. We got to pick up a few items and got to get me a chicken bake, and she's got to get one of those Costco hot dogs. And we got to buy some gas because the gas up here is now $1.40 a liter Canadian, which is $5.60 Canadian a gallon, a U.S. gallon. That would be about $4 a U.S. gallon for gasoline here. I can get gasoline in Costco, Coeur d'Alene, for about $2 and maybe 80 cents a U.S., $1.20 a gallon less, 30% less in price. Unbelievable. We will show up in Costco with maybe an eighth of a tank. And we'll fill her up, and that'll save us $25 right there over pricing here. And that pays for the eggs and the milk and the butter and some, I'm going to get some ice cream tomorrow. I'm going to get some of that premium vanilla ice cream. The best ice cream there is Costco brand ice cream. It's so good. I think it's Humboldt brand. They sell a gallon, 2.5 gallon containers, rich, creamy vanilla ice cream. Oh, it's the best. Love it. Steamy Bean, have fun at Costco. Pamela Jordan, bye all. See you next time. Be safe and God bless. Debbie Manuel, happy shopping. Enjoy the rest of the weekend to everybody. Stay safe. Thank you, guys. Steamy Bean, biscuits. Don't forget the biscuits, Bruce. Get some biscuits. Auntie Jane, bye all. Enjoy your day. Chocolate cake. Get some more remedies, some more recipes for chocolate cake. Yummy. I got to keep that, physique going, Oh, I'm gonna fill out my double XL T-shirts when they arrive from Redbubble. They're on the way. They tell me. I'm hoping Monday, Tuesday, I have them here. As soon as I got my T-shirts, I'll be wearing them for you guys. I hope you have a good weekend, Bruce. Thank you, T Hyper. So great to have you by. I'm glad you're here. Cool Jazz, happy Victoria's Day. Thanks, Cool Jazz. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Steamy Bean, hugs and kisses. Pamela Jordan, XOXO, T Typer. And everyone else have a great weekend. Jim Thomas, bye until Monday. Safe trip. We'll see you Monday at 5 o'clock Eastern time for my next show. Thanks for the thumbs ups. Let's see how many we got here as folks are saying goodbye. We're up to 21 thumbs ups. Thank you, guys. They're coming on in. Monday, 5 o'clock Eastern. We'll see you then. I'll tell you all about Costco. Have a great day, everybody. This is Bruce with Shopping with Bruce saying goodbye. Have a great weekend. Congratulations, Harry and her, the two kids that got married. Happy wedding, happy best wishes. May the 19th, 2018. Take care, you guys. We'll see you Monday at 5 o'clock Eastern. Bye for now.